Hi everyone, welcome back. Lady Scorpion here again, and today we are going to be talking about the do's and don'ts of playing a DPS, a damage per second type of character in Final Fantasy Online. So you decided you wanted to be a DPS main in Final Fantasy Online. There are some things that you need to remember, the do's and the don'ts of being a DPS. Everyone thinks DPSs are the easiest to play, and quite frankly, you are correct. DPS would be the easiest to play opposed to a tank or a healer. But there's a lot of things DPS do need to know, and I think some don't really know or don't really grasp it. So that is what I'm here for, and I'm going to try and teach you to the best of my ability as a DPS main in Final Fantasy Online. What you should do and what you shouldn't do. And it's okay if you did any of the don'ts, because we all make mistakes. We're all human beings. It's okay. It happens. And that's probably why you're here. Maybe you want to be a better DPS. So, I welcome you all aboard. And I also want to kind of add to, as a DPS player, you're going to make mistakes. Because Final Fantasy Online does offer a lot of DPS jobs, some more complex than others, and some that are very easy. The one that I would consider being a little bit tricky is a ninja. You start out as a rogue, and then when you reach level 30, you become a ninja. And a ninja is a little bit tricky because you really have to know the combos. You got to know if you need to be at the rear or the flanks. And we'll get into that. We'll talk about where the rear and the flanks are. But ninja can be kind of tricky for first-time players of Final Fantasy Online. And when you start leveling multiple jobs at the same time, it's going to be pretty tricky to remember which DPS is which. So I kind of suggest if you're starting out and it's brand new to you, try and stick to one DPS so you can learn a little bit quicker and faster that way. And then start picking up other ones. If you feel like, you can do maybe a more complex job, go for it. Or if you want to just start out and do a hard, complex job as a DPS, go for it. We learn from trial and error, like I said in my tanking video. So don't be afraid. If you make mistakes, it's okay. We're human beings. It's gonna happen. And you're not gonna be perfect always when you play. It just does not happen. So anyways, let's get on to this. Here are the do's and the don'ts. And I'll also flash them up on the screen for you guys so you can see them in case if maybe you didn't, you had a misunderstanding or not misunderstanding of what I said. So, number one, do stay out of AoEs. AoEs are giant indicators that you're going to see. They're going to be yellow, and they're going to be either circle-shaped or triangular shaped. And you'll know because it'll be yellowish orange, more toward yellow of a color. And you'll know to get out of that. You're going to want to make sure that you get out of that. And of course, Final Fantasy Online does have bosses that dish out AoEs. Well, most of them dish out AoEs. So you need to make sure that you stay out of AoEs. Because number one, you're going to save your healer if you stay out of those AoEs. Because if you don't move out of the AoEs and you get hit, your healer now not only has to heal the tank, but they have to heal you as well. Which means they're going to be lacking in their MP points. So that's a big thing, is just make sure you do stay out of AoEs. A don't. Don't leave your tank. It's easy to, what I kind of mean by that, let me go into this a little bit more. It's easy to get pulled into complacency when you're playing a DPS. Nailing your combos, watching the enemy health bar go down, and you can get so focused on that you kind of forget what's going on around you. So much that you might rush ahead of your tank. And if you start rushing ahead of your tank, you're going to accidentally pull an entire room and you're going to wipe your team because you just took all that aggro when your tank should have took all that aggro. So don't leave your tank, kind of stay behind your tank and let your tank lead, is basically what I'm trying to say. I guess for lack of better words. But you're going to want to make sure that you let your tank lead and you let your tank grab all that aggro. Because if you don't, it could end up in a wipe for your entire team. So just don't do that. Don't be that guy. Make sure your tank is the one that is aggroing and you are not. Because, like I said, you don't want that on you, because not only is your healer going to have to be healing a lot more, but your tank is not able to do their job either. And I'm going to tell you right now, the tank's not going to be happy about it. So, just don't do it. Do kill ads. This basically applies to like mid or final boss encounters that you're going to be having. But some other dungeons are going to have like, you know, where you need to burn down ads as a mechanic type of thing. And what ads are, in case if you don't know, they are mobs that show up to basically make your in-game life for your character way more difficult during dungeons. Now, you can generally ignore ads in low-level dungeons, like, for example, Copperbell Mines. You don't really need to worry about ads in Copperbell Mines, because the final boss is going to end up nuking anyways before the ads can even do anything at all. So it doesn't really matter in Copperbell Mines. But killing them gets more important as you unlock the higher level dungeons. So you're going to want to keep that in mind. The higher level dungeons, you are going to want to focus on ads. That's going to be a major thing. Now, some encounters that you may have could be extremely punishing if you're not killing these ads. It varies by dungeon to dungeon, but some ads empower to the boss if you leave these ads alive for too long, which means that the boss is becoming stronger and it's not good. While simply others basically will do too much damage to be able to let them live. So if you let them ads live and you ignore them ads completely, they could do so much damage to you and your team that it's just gonna wipe. So you do want to focus those ads. But as a DPS, it's your job to check in every once in a while and ensure that the ads are where they should be, which is dead on the floor, guys. Make sure your ads are dead on the floor. Like I said, the lower level dungeons, you don't need to worry about it. You can just let them be. But once you start getting into the higher levels, you're going to want to focus those ads. All right, here's the don't. Don't stand in front of the boss. This basically goes hand in hand with not getting ahead of the tank, like I said earlier. Tanks will generally try to turn the boss away from the rest of the party. That's what they should be doing. That is their job. So that way, the AoE attacks that boss are using won't hit the rest of the party. They will hit the tank. And generally, it will target the tank. With some expectations, of course. But that's obviously what the tank wants to do. And if you rush ahead of the tank, or you stand in front of the boss, you're going to be getting hit as well. That's a no-go. So don't stand in front of the boss. Because, like I said, your tank's not going to be happy, the rest of your team's not going to be happy. It's not going to be a fantastic moment for anyone. So basically, standing right next to the tank, it's going to get turned around when everyone, the boss and everyone else basically, are throwing flashy abilities around. So if you find yourself shoulder to shoulder with the tank, take a step back and retreat to a safer spot. And typically DPS's spots are the rear and the flanks. The flanks are the side, the rear is the back of the boss. So wherever your tank is always going to be standing in front of the boss. So either you go to the opposite side or you attack from the two sides, the flanks. Either one. But these are just simple do's and don'ts of a DPS. Just make sure you're doing your job as a DPS. A DPS is a pretty simple job. It's not super hard or anything like that. So you shouldn't have to completely worry about it, but that's basically all you gotta do as a DPS. It's pretty simple, it's pretty straightforward, and I hope you like the video. We're gonna end it here, guys, because I want to keep it short once again, and I do appreciate you for watching. Make sure, as always, if you like the content, please comment, like, and subscribe. Click that little bell so you can get notified when I make more content. I do greatly appreciate it, and I'll see you guys next time.